Hi, and welcome to 3 Things in 3 Minutes. I'm Nersi. Today we are looking at Era Medieval Age from eggertspiele. It plays 1 to 4 players and plays in about 45 to 60 minutes. What it's about. This is a dice rolling and tile placement combination of civ and town building that's directly evolved from the Roll Through the Ages games. Now each turn you roll your dice, which primarily grant you resources, building actions, and potentially disasters. You then gather your resources, including hopefully enough food to pay for your dice and to pay for buildings and walls that you'll strategically place on your board, usually get you more dice and points. All the while you're hoping to avoid the negative consequences of the disasters you may have rolled. Now the game ends when a certain number of buildings have been completely bought and whoever has scored the most points wins. What I like, now while this game is a direct descendant of the Roll Through the Ages games, those games mostly concentrated on being roll and write games, whereas Era replaces the writing with some more complex tile laying. And this factors in not only in the scoring but also the engine building. Now this adds a welcome strategic dimension to the original series because what you buy and where you place it can have a big impact on your gameplay and your scoring, giving you something else to think about in addition to your dice engine. Now it also does have some streamlined components, including a simple resource tracking with the use of pegs on your board and the use of different dice to develop an engine. And the sculpts for the buildings are overall well done, and you can tell that a lot of care went into making these plastic components detailed, and it's fun to actually be able to look at a three-dimensional building rather than cardboard polyominoes as you build your city. Now, points to consider. As nice as the buildings are, the game board itself is hard to use. Now, apart from being an off-putting yellow, the labels are basically engraved into the board, and they're fairly hard to see given that they have no contrast or shading, making it a lot harder to track the game than it should be. And also, the dice form the core of your engine, but it's not immediately clear what each of the different dice offers you. And so, it will become clear the more you play, but the game could certainly benefit from a dice reference available to players from the get-go. And finally, the game seems to be not quite long enough to be entirely satisfying. Now that's fairly common in engine or civ games, but this game places a great deal of emphasis on walling your city since it doubles the points for all the buildings inside of it and can protect you from disasters. But it takes many build actions to actually build the walls, and so to actually wall off your city takes a lot of effort if you don't want to run out of time, when you could actually be building something more interesting. So, in summary, it's a more strategic evolution of the Roll Through the Ages games, this time adding an interesting building placement mechanic. It has great looking buildings against the backdrop of a board that's kind of hard to use and initially unclear dice engine. And the game seems to be a bit short in a way that distracts you from doing the more interesting parts of the game. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks!